What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pick Six Nation. This is going to be episode number 127, and my guest for this episode is John Keeton. And John, thank you for coming on. I also want to wait. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just doing this. I wasn't
Cool.
going to say anything.
I also want to say he has a podcast called the 1497 Podcast. You can find it on TikTok. You can find it on Instagram and Apple too, right?
Mm-hmm. All podcasting platforms.
Let's go. All right, make sure to go and check his stuff out. It's awesome. Make sure to do that.
Yeah, bunch of sports content. Talk about everything. But let's get into it.
All right, let's do the football. Let's have some fun. I mean, we got a lot of stuff. We got free agency, franchise tags, a lot of big news to talk about today. I mean, all right, let's get our topics in. We have NFL player futures, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr to the Saints, Geno Smith, 3-year, $105 million contract extension, Lamar Jackson franchise tag, Daniel Jones, 4-year, $160 million extension, Calvin Ridley reinstated, DeAndre Hopkins, Bears-Panthers trade, Tua Tagovailoa, 5th-year option to be picked up by the Dolphins, Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins, Osborn saves man's life, Tyreek Hill wins 60-meter race, NFLPA tweet, Matt Milano, 2-year contract extension, and Devin McCourty retires. All right, let's go to NFL player futures. A lot of news on that front. Zadarius Smith wanted a release from the Vikings. He wants a release from the Vikings, but the Vikings don't want to cut him. Very interesting to see what happens there. We have to see what happens with Adam Thielen as well. What are your thoughts on all this?
I think the Vikings messed up cutting Adam Thielen. Now you look at it in a perspective of, okay, you have Justin Jefferson. Now you have KJ Osborn, and now you have TJ Hawkinson. So you're removing a weapon from that offense. And it's not only removing a weapon, you're removing a route technician. And what I mean by that is you're removing a guy that is amazing at route running, who gets open easily, especially on your short, quick, elusive routes. So I don't like how they released Adam Thielen because he was a big part of that Vikings offense. And on top of that, now you're telling KJ Osborn, okay, the games that you succeeded in, you're going to need to do that 16 times as much as Justin Jefferson is doing that, as much as TJ Hawkinson is doing that, because now he's essentially the second option. So I was a little puzzled with the Vikings cutting Adam Thielen.
I mean, he did have a very storied run there. So, I mean, hopefully he finds another team as soon as possible. Hopefully he can find another team as soon as possible. Hopefully the Zadarius Smith situation gets solved. I mean, we have also Levante David. What happens with him? Tremaine Edmonds, what happens with him?
Yeah, so, they're in with the Buccaneers. They're in a tough situation because they're very deep in cap, very deep. Yeah. They're in the Saints situation. So you ask yourself, well, the Saints just got a quarterback. How are they still deep in cap? Because you're still able to play with like the luxury money a little bit. So I think that's what's going to happen with Tampa. They're going to be able to resurface some funds for Levante David, but being a top linebacker like Levante David is, and knowing your potential and knowing your skill set, I think you're going to want to go to a winning program. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Levante David go to a team like Baltimore or a team like New York that has a lot of cap room for a guy like that, and to add on to the defense that they already have. And then with Zadarius Smith, his value might not be as high as you think it is because he was also a part of that passing defense that allowed the 26th most opponent passing yards per game. So,
yeah. I mean, hopefully Levante David can return to Tampa Bay. He's a great leader, and we'd like to If they can get him back, they can get him back, and that's good. If he goes, he goes. So, like to see interesting to see what happens with him. Tremaine Edmonds, very interesting to see what happens with him. Like I touched on earlier. So, can't wait to see how that plays out.
I have a question for you though, because you touched on Aaron Rodgers. Do you?
Yeah,
think...
we'll get. We also it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Harrison Smith too.
Yeah. I think.
You wait. Go on.
Oh no, I was just going to say with Harrison Smith, he's up there with age, and usually people don't want free safeties that are that high in age due to the lack of production that they might produce the next upcoming seasons. So I think he'll go to like a team that needs restructure in the secondary. On top of that, with veteranship, so I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Detroit or Atlanta or even Carolina.
Right. But I also want to add this. Brandon Graham is back with Philly. It's nice to see him back with Philly on a 1-year deal. Let's go. Nice to see him return there. So best of luck. Hopefully things continue to go well for Brandon Graham in Philly. Darius Slay wants to remain an Eagle as well. So
yeah, so I mean, the Eagles, they're in a tough position right now. And the reason why they're in a tough position is they just came off a storybook run to the Super Bowl. And usually when those runs happen, players start to know their value a little bit, because defensively is the reason why, or one of the reasons why they got to the place that they got to, which is the Super Bowl.
Yes.
They're having all-time numbers in sacks. They're having all-time numbers in creating turnovers. But they were also doing that, not to discredit them or anything, but they were also doing that to a lot of mid-tier quarterbacks, Daniel Jones being one of them. So as an owner, you ask yourself, can I give James Bradbury a contract for him to exceed? Can I give Sauce Gardner? What's his name? I wrote it down. Gardner Johnson. Can I give
Gardner Johnson?
Yeah. Can I give Gardner Johnson this money? I think you can give him that. And then with Brandon Graham, he's going to finish his career with an Eagle, I think. So we'll see. Free agency is going to be fun. This offseason has already started to be fun. So
I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see who gets signed and where. I mean, we have some really we'll get to Jalen Ramsey later, but he's with the Dolphins now. I mean, we'll get to him later though. But I think for player futures for now, let's go to Aaron Rodgers. Does he go to the Jets? It's looking very likely that he ends up there.
He's staying a Packer. Because you got to look at it from the other owner's perspective, right? Aaron Rodgers has been your franchise cornerstone quarterback, right?
Yes.
And it's ironic because he's in the Brett Favre situation now, where he had a year where it was his worst year ever. Now he wants to get out, and now he wants to go win somewhere. But if you go to the Jets, yes, they're a quarterback away. But why would you trade for – because Aaron Rodgers is 38, correct? 38, 37?
Yeah, I think he's 39. Let's double-check that on Rodgers.
And
he's 39.
39. So at most, you're going to get a year at best. And that year has to be Super Bowl or bust. Now, if you go out and get Aaron Rodgers, I don't think the Jets will make the Super Bowl, because they're not going to go into Kansas City and beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not going to go into Cincinnati and beat the Cincinnati Bengals. That team is still young, and that team is still they have emerging stars, but those stars aren't like true superstars yet because they still need another season to really flourish themselves as the star ratings. Like, we got to see if Sauce Gardner is going to do what he did in his rookie season. We got to see oh my God, Garrett Wilson. We got to see if Garrett Wilson's going to do the same thing that he did last season. So it's all these question marks. And then with the Packers, you're going to ask for a lot because you're not only trading away Aaron Rodgers, you're trading away a franchise quarterback, which is a pretty expensive cost. So do the Jets really want to pay that cost? That's why I said Rodgers stay in Green Bay.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. We'll just have to see what happens there. I mean, you have the burning of the cheesehead that was from the Jets Packers matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Last season,
mm-hmm.
in the 2022 to 2023 season, that happened. We also had Aaron Rodgers on I Am Athlete talking to Brandon Marshall, telling people to stay tuned, telling him stay tuned. We just have to see what happens. We just have to see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. It's looking more and more likely that he could be a Jet, but we still don't know for sure what's going to happen. We'll know for sure when we know for sure where he's going to end up.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm contradicting myself or anything, but he almost made it to the playoffs with no number one receiver. Now, if he does go to the Jets, they will make the playoffs, but I don't think they will make noise in the playoffs because there's too many good teams in the AFC. It's too many good teams. And now you have the Jaguars who are emerging into that conversation offensively, reinstating Calvin Ridley, and the numbers that they put up this season and almost coming back against Kansas City. So it's just going to be tough for them to not only compete outside of their division, but to compete inside of their division now because you have a top duo corners, you got two great corners in Miami. Then you have a great defense in Buffalo. And then you have New England, who also produces great corners. So coming in, you're going to have to play like you did 2 seasons ago. You're going to have to play at an MVP level. And if you don't get to the Super Bowl, it is a failed season. So it's a lot to really wager if you're the Jets.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, I think we got the Aaron Rodgers. Oh no, wait. I mentioned Brandon Marshall. I mean, he was talking to Brandon Marshall, saying stay tuned. I mentioned that. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I got that part of it.
I mean, Jesse Bates is a free agent.
Him too. I can't wait to see what happens with him. Jesse Bates III. Yeah. I can't wait to see what happens with him too. Cannot wait to see what happens as well.
And that's huge for the Bengals because he's been a big impact when it's came down to drop back coverages. He has became a big asset in the Bengals defense when it came to their zone defensive scheme because he's so good in zone coverage. But I think he's at the point where he wants to get paid like a lot. So I think he'll stay with the Bengals. If not, I think he stays with the Bengals.
Yeah. Most likely should. Right. I think we got that on free agent on Aaron Rodgers. Now let's go to Derek Carr to the Saints. This was a huge deal. The deal is 4 years, $150 million. I like this move by the Saints. I mean, I think Carr gets kind of a fresh slate, and I think that'd be nice to see.
It was a good move. It was a good move. It just made them the best team in the NFC South, and it just made them a playoff team. Now, here's the question. Can he perform in the playoffs? Last time he was in the playoffs, he was a play away from beating the Cincinnati Bengals that went to the Super Bowl that year. Not only that, he was a guy that was leading that dysfunctional Raiders team, and he led that team to the playoffs. So I like the move by the Saints. I think a lot of people are going to look at it as a Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott-esque type move where you get them to the playoffs, but then what? Are you going to succeed in the playoffs? Are you going to go on deep runs in the playoffs? So Derek Carr, for him to get his name back, he has to go far in the playoffs.
I see what you're saying. I mean, they really should at least have a nice season. At least have like a really nice season. At least have a good playoff run too.
It depends on who they get matched up with. Like if they get matched up with the team, like the same Giants team, or like Minnesota, they'll get passed down. But if they're playing a team like San Francisco, Philadelphia, I'll tell you, yeah, because San Francisco, Philadelphia, they get beat. But we'll see what happens.
All right, we'll see what happens. Absolutely. I mean, also the contract. Well, this is from Spotrac. Or Spotrac, it says $28.5 million signing bonus, $100 million of that contract is guaranteed. The average annual salary is $37,500,000. The base salary is $1,500,000. Mentioned the signing bonus. The cap hit is $7,200,000, and the dead cap value is $60 million. So nice deal by the Saints. Best of luck to Derek Carr in New Orleans. Hopefully things go well. John?
Yeah, I'm still here. I thought you was going to say something else for free agency because I was waiting for you to say another player. That's my fault.
Okay, well, we got the Carr deal. All right. Now let's go to Geno Smith, 3-year, $105 million contract extension. It's awesome for Geno Smith. What a season he had last year. I mean, that was a phenomenal year for him. Absolutely awesome. John?
The Seahawks did it too early. They gave him a big contract way too early because he started slowing down at the mid-season point, and when there was games that you needed him to perform in, he didn't really perform in those games. So now they're locked in with Geno Smith. They have to deal with Geno Smith. They have to deal with Geno Smith now. But my thing about it is I think they should have waited until this season to see how he does and then give him the contract, because I think a lot of teams are at the norm of just making the playoffs, and that's a successful season, to where, okay, we give our guy weapons, we build around our guy, and then if he's able to perform within the first 2 seasons that he's here, okay, then we give him that money. We can move on with that. Like Jalen Hurts is going to get his money either next year or the year after that if they keep on doing what they're doing offensively. So I wasn't too fond of the deal. I'm glad that he got his money though. So
Right. I'm absolutely thrilled that he got paid, man. That's awesome. And the deal also includes $52 million in his first year, which is awesome for him. I'm so happy for Geno, man.
yeah, it's good for Geno. It's good for Geno. I would have waited. Same with Daniel Jones. I would have waited.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy for Geno, and hopefully things continue to go well for Geno in Seattle. I can't wait. I can't wait for it.
Yeah. Because you don't know what the Cardinals are going to do offensively or no, as a whole. Los Angeles is in a rebuilding situation. So it'll really just be them, or it will be the 49ers and it'll just be them and the 49ers. And the 49ers, they can implement any quarterback to get them to like an NFC divisional or NFC championship game. But those quarterbacks are not able to succeed because of the bare minimum that it is. So next year I'm going to look for Geno Smith being able to compete against top tier defenses and how he does that, because a lot of people seem to forget what San Francisco did against him, not just the playoffs, but in a pivotal regular season matchup for the Seahawks.
All right. All right. I think we got that on Geno. Anything else you want to add?
Mm-mm.
All right. Cool. I think we got it. Now let's go to Lamar Jackson franchise tagged. If the Ravens don't get a long-term deal done with Lamar Jackson or a huge contract extension, it's going to blow up in their face massively. I mean, the Ravens would be idiots to let him walk.
It's already too late. It's already too late. If they were going to pay him, they would have did it by now, right? They would have already gave him this wonderful contract. And the reason why he's not getting that contract is because of what happened with Deshaun Watson and the Browns giving him that contract. Because as a team, you got to ask yourself, is this quarter? You got to ask yourself a series of questions. First, you got to ask yourself, is this the guy? If you're able to answer that, then you move on and say, is this the guy that can win me games? Is this the guy that can win me games against over 500 teams? Is this the guy that can lead me to the playoffs? Is this the guy that can lead me to a deep playoff run that results in a Super Bowl? Because at the end of the day, teams are trying to win on the biggest platform, and that is the Super Bowl. So the Ravens should honestly just trade him. And they had the Jets talking to him about it, because if they're not going to pay him, it's like you're just stalling at this point. Because we know if he would have played in the Cincinnati game, they would have won that game. So they're stalling. They're not going to pay him. They need to just trade him and just start fresh.
Really?
They need to trade him and start fresh.
I mean, it'll blow up in their face if that happens.
No, I agree. 100% agree. Because like you franchise tagging Lamar is just going to make Lamar even more mad. And he's just going to keep on sitting out. So you're just putting money in a place that will never be found again. It's kind of like going to the grocery store and you see something appealing, so you just pick it up because it's appealing, and then you're never going to use it. You're never going to eat it, so it just sits in your refrigerator. So basically, you just wasted money on something that's so appealing. The reason of me bringing that up is the Ravens like the thought of Lamar Jackson, but they don't like the value that comes with Lamar Jackson. So if you don't like the value and you're trying to win and you have a top-tier defense that a quarterback can win with, okay, just end up trading him. Cut ties. It'll make both parties happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is also a non-exclusive franchise tag. I mean, meaning he could go and seek what's it called?
Seek free agency?
He could possibly go to other teams.
Okay, yeah.
All right. I mean, hopefully he gets paid a lot. He deserves it. That is the best case scenario.
Unanimous MVP. You gotta give him that bread.
All right. Now let's go to Daniel Jones. I mean, Daniel Jones gets 4 years, $160 million extension. Saquon Barkley gets franchise tagged.
If you're going to pay anyone, and I actually didn't know they franchise tagged Saquon, which is crazy. That is crazy to me. If you're going to pay anyone, you got to pay Saquon Barkley. Like, what? How are you going to give Daniel Jones? Like, I get it. Daniel Jones.
Saquon Barkley on the $10.1 million franchise tag.
Yeah. And I don't understand that because you don't franchise tag a running back that just came off a 1,312 yard season with 10 touchdowns. And then on top of that, the season before that, he got injured and only had 593 yards. So he showed you when he's healthy, you can rely on him. And Bill O'Brien, Brian Dable, excuse me, was running his offense based off of Saquon. And you saw when Daniel Jones had the ball in his hands against good defensive teams, it was shaky a little bit. It was shaky. And you go back to the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, he completed 79.2% of his passes, but it was 177 yards. Then his completion percentages were good. They were good, but it goes back to the point that I made earlier of, can he do this again with a number one guy? Is he able to perform with a number one guy? Because right now he doesn't have that. Kenny Golladay was supposed to be that, but Kenny Golladay gets injured way too much. So it can't be that. And you're still relying heavily on the run game. The only reason they won against Minnesota is because Minnesota's pass defense was putrid. When you go to the Eagles, they get completely blown out. So from an individual performance standpoint, okay, he played the best in his career. He completed a high percentage of passes against top 15 defenses.
Yes.
But I would have paid Saquon. I would have waited for Daniel Jones. That was ridiculous.
Huh. Understandable. I mean, ideally, they can keep the both of them long term. Ideally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ideally, they can keep the both of them long term. Daniel Jones got he had a 36. This from Spotrac, $36 million signing bonus, average annual salary of $40 million, base salary is $9,500,000. Mentioned the signing bonus, workout bonus of $500,000, cap hit of $19 million, and a dead cap value of $82 million. Crazy. I mean, hopefully Daniel Jones. Hopefully things continue to go well for Daniel Jones on the Giants. Hopefully Saquon Barkley can get a huge long-term deal as well. Hopefully things can continue to go well for him on the Giants too. So,
my bad to cut you off, but hot take. I would have really let Daniel Jones walk, and I would have got a new quarterback in free agency.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know. And on that note, let's go to Calvin Ridley reinstated. This is awesome to see. He's back. Really nice to see. I can't wait to see how he's going to be utilizing the Jaguars offense. John, what do you think?
I love it. I love that he's back. And the reason why I love when he's back, because he's back at a perfect time. Trevor Lawrence is climbing up his mountain with Doug Peterson. You have an amazing offense with a bunch of weapons, so it just makes it harder to guard. Not only that, Jacksonville was 9th in points per game last year. At home, they scored 24.1 points per game. Not only that, they're the best team in their division. They're going to run away with their division. And we saw that Trevor Lawrence can play. We saw that Trevor Lawrence can play on a big stage. And with the abundance of weapons that he has just makes it deadlier than the average team. But I know you want to say something, so go ahead. No, go ahead, because I thought you wanted to say something.
Okay.
My bad.
Yeah, the weapons, really nice to see that. I like how honest Calvin Ridley has been about this whole situation. I mean, we have the letter. There's a letter in the article, and it's called Calvin Ridley writes heartfelt letter after NFL reinstatement. I made the worst mistake of my life. And it says in the letter, I effed up. Ridley wrote, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. In 2021, I made the worst mistake of my life gambling on football. I paid the price, believe me. I've seen all the jokes. I've seen all the hate, and I can shoulder all of that, no problem. All I want is for people to understand that when I made those bets, there was a hell of a lot more going on with me.
And having obvious. My bad.
Okay, thank you. It also says Ridley, who turned 28 in December, shared some of the setbacks he experienced growing up in the South Florida area, and how football helped him find purpose. Since I was 8 years old, I was on my own. It's crazy, but I know the exact date, October 31st, 2002, he wrote. We were having our little Halloween party at school. Out of the blue, my aunt came and picked me and my 3 younger brothers up. Next thing I know, she's dropping us off at some random place with a bunch of strangers. It was a foster home for kids in distress, but I didn't know where I was or what I was. No, I didn't know where I was or what was going on. No one would tell me anything. It was just, your mom and dad went away for a while. You need to stay here. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he's opening up. I'm happy about it. I mean, later in the article, it also says the next year, star wide receiver Julio Jones was no longer on the Falcons and really became the team's number one receiver. He got off to a slow start on the field throughout the first few games of the 2021 season. In the letter, he noted that his struggles with depression and anxiety resulted in him being a quote unquote shell of himself. That's when the anxiety really started. I knew something was off, but I didn't want to let anybody down. My plan was to get through another season with pills and shots, do my job, grit it out. I suited up week 1 to shell of myself, but I played.
He's going to have 1,000. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Later, during his time away from football, Ridley placed bets on NFL games, including a parlay on the Falcons that led to his indefinite suspension. I just effed up, period. He wrote, in a dark moment, I made a stupid mistake. I wasn't trying to cheat the game. That's the thing I want to make clear. At the time, I had been completely away from the team for about a month. I was still just so depressed and angry, and the days were so long. I was looking for anything to take my mind off of things and make the day go faster. Make the day go by faster. One day, I saw a TV commercial for a betting app for whatever reason. I downloaded it on my phone. I deposited like $1,500 total, literally just for something to do. I was going to bet like $200 on some NBA games that night, but then I just added a bunch more games to a parlay. I put the Falcons on it. I was just doing it to root on my boys. Basically, I didn't have any inside information. I wasn't even talking to anyone on the team at the time. I was totally off the grid. All right. I'm happy he's in a better spot. I'm happy he's transparent, and I can't wait. I cannot wait for him to play on the Jaguars. It's going to be phenomenal to see.
He's going to have an 1,000-yard season. I'm telling you now, he's going to have an 1,000-yard season.
I hope he does. I hope he does have a 1,000-yard season. That would be nice.
Because
all right, now let's go to DeAndre Hopkins. He's been linked with some teams, the Patriots. It's going to be very interesting to see where he ends up. I mean, the Patriots. I'm iffy about that because Bill O'Brien did trade him to the Cardinals. So, what are your thoughts?
He's staying in Arizona.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Reason why is you don't go out and revamp your roster. And what I mean by that is they go get a new coach, right? So now they're in a new system with Kyler Murray. They haven't got rid of Kyler Murray, and they haven't got rid of anything offensively on that team. So I don't see the owner being like, okay, DeAndre Hopkins is just not that guy anymore. Let's trade for him. Because I saw in an article how the Cardinals are valuing him as like a top 5, top 3 receiver in the NFL, as they should. So that means you're going to have to give up a lot to get DeAndre Hopkins. And I think they want DeAndre Hopkins there for this new look Arizona Cardinal team, because they want to see how it looks. So I think he's not going to trade it. He'll stay in Arizona.
All right, understandable. He's also been linked with the Cowboys, the Panthers. We just have to see where he ends up. Very interesting to see what happens. The Cardinals do want some hefty compensation, though. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with DeAndre Hopkins. He did go on the Pat McAfee show, talked about, what am I going to say? He definitely knows about the rumors. We need to see what happens with Hopkins. Hopefully, what am I going to say? Damn it. Cards. Hopefully, DeAndre Hopkins ends up somewhere. That's what I have to say on that.
Yeah. That's somewhere. In my eyes, it's still going to be the desert of Glendale, Arizona.
Right. Okay. Now let's go to the Bears-Panthers trade. This is awesome for the Bears. Ryan Poles, thank you so much. We get DJ Moore. I'm happy to get DJ Moore. We get a 9th overall. Also get a 61st overall as well. I'm happy about this trade. It's going to be great.
It was a good trade. It showed that Ryan Poles knows what he's doing. It actually showed that the Bears have a good GM now. So now, let's stop all the speculations, and not stop all the speculations, but let's look at it from a bigger picture. You have Adam Thielen that's roaming in the market right now, hasn't been picked up. You go out and get Adam Thielen. You can go make more moves in this draft. You get a guy like Will Anderson if he falls that far. If not,
yes,
trade 2 spots up to get him. You're able to really do something in this draft because this draft is so deep on both sides of the football. So Justin Fields is going to have another great year. Now they're going to compete, but obviously they're not going to compete for like a championship or anything. They'll be good enough to be like in the wild card. They'll be good enough to be in a wild card situation, but I don't see them making playoffs this year. But next year or the year after that, if you're a Bears fan, I'd be very happy and start talking about playoff implications as it goes to having a deep run.
Yes. Also, there's an article on Heavy, and it's called Bear Star Destined for a Trade Block Following Panthers Deal. It says the Chicago Bears reeled in a massive haul from the Panthers by trading away the top overall pick, but the deal is likely to leave one prominent player out in the cold. Chicago flipped the number one selection in the upcoming NFL draft for the number 9 and number 61 picks this season, a 2024 first-round selection, and a 2025 second-rounder. On top of that, the Bears added wide receiver DJ Moore, who immediately becomes the most accomplished pass catcher on the roster. So, great. I mean, I like this move by Ryan Poles. Thank you, Ryan Poles. I mean, hopefully things go well for DJ Moore on the Bears.
You add another weapon, excuse me. And you just got to keep on adding them. You just got to believe Justin is the guy. And what do? You go get him more guys to make him more leads.
Yes, you do. Absolutely. All right. I think we got that there.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go to Tua Tagovailoa, 5th-year option to be picked up by Dolphins. I mean, this is a smart move. That is a really smart move by the Dolphins. Hopefully Tua can stay healthy. Hopefully he can stay healthy as much as possible. That's the big thing. Hopefully he can stay healthy as soon as possible.
I don't think they should have picked it up. I don't think they should. Tua played good. He played good, but you just said the key word, and that's injuries. Tua has had a problem with injuries, not since the concussion thing, but before that too.
No. All right, picked up.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have picked it up because in the back of your mind, you know the duration of his time is not always going to be for a full season. So you're always going to question yourself, can I have Tua for this full season? And it has shown in 3 out of his 4 seasons, or all 4 of his seasons, that he has not played a full season yet.
I see where you're coming from, but I got to say it's a really good move on the behalf of the Dolphins. I mean, I like that I like that that's happening. He's going to make he's guaranteed $23.2 million for the 2024 season. There's an article. It's by Jacqueline Hendricks on the New York Post, and it says Tua Tagovailoa's 5th-year option picked up by Dolphins with Tom Brady rumors swirling. Says in the article, the Tua Tagovailoa era will continue in Miami. The Dolphins are picking up Tagovailoa's fifth-year option. NFL Network's Mike Garafolo reported Friday. Tagovailoa will be guaranteed $23.2 million for the $23.2 million for the 2024 season, the report said. All right. So that's nice to see. And yeah, hopefully things can continue to go well for Tua. Hopefully he stays healthy. Hopefully he can stay healthy.
Yeah, because it's hard. Because he had 4 concussions. 4. And 3 out of those 4, he continued to play in those games. So you just don't come back from coming back from 1 concussion is hard enough. From 4 all in the same season. And the most games that he's played in the season is 13. So in my eyes, that money could have been used somewhere else, because at this point, you might as well get a backup for how many times he's not able to play.
Yep. I see what you're saying. What else do I have to say?
I think that was pretty well covered.
Yeah, it's good. All right. I think we got that there. Now let's go to Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins. This is an awesome move by the Dolphins. This just happened today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome to see. So, I mean, Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins.
It's a good move. It's a really good move, because now you got two top 10 corners on the same side. And Jalen Ramsey didn't have a bad year, but he was highlighted because he was the star player on that defense, and a lot of things was going wrong in that defense. And sometimes it was just not in his power, because within the coverages, he was guarding a specific zone. So he's not able to step out of his zone to go out and save another teammate, because that zone will be open. Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think it was a great move. It was a great move. You're making your secondary better, and having a good secondary in the AFC means a lot, because you're going up against pass-heavy teams. Correct. So you're going up against Jacksonville, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Buffalo.
Yes.
The Jets, if they get a quarterback, so on and so forth. So I like the move by Miami. For cheap, too. They got him for cheap.
Yeah. There's also there's tweets. I mean, there's a tweet from Josina Anderson, and it says, leak sources confirm the deal is now agreed to. The Rams are getting a 2023 third-round pick and tight end Hunter Long per source. And then it was like, I think it was a quote tweet from 2 hours before. She had said before, I'm told the Rams and the Dolphins are in deep discussions on a trade for Jalen Ramsey. A deal is not finalized, but there's a high likelihood it happens. At this time, per league source, a lot of teams are interested in Jalen Ramsey, but the focus is on where he wants to be. All right. So that's cool. So, yeah, Jalen Ramsey is now a Dolphin, and yeah, hopefully it goes well for Jalen Ramsey on the Dolphins. Hopefully it goes well for Hunter Long on the Rams.
Yeah.
All right, I think we got that there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back. I gotta do something first. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back.
Yeah.
Now let's go to KJ Osborn. Saves man's life. This is awesome. What a great thing to do by KJ Osborn. I mean, right place, right time. Awesome to see that. So great work by him. We have an article on this, and it's called Vikings Osborn helped pull man from burning car in Texas. The article is by Dave Campbell, and the article's on SF Gate. The article states Minnesota Vikings wide receiver KJ Osborn said he was in the right place at the exact right time, end quote, to help save a man from a burning car. Osborn was riding in an Uber on an expressway around 2:30 a.m. Monday in Austin, Texas, when the vehicle came upon a wrecked car. Austin police said Tuesday that the car ran into a pole and caught fire. Police said the driver had already been removed from the vehicle by the time officers arrived. Police declined to confirm the identities of the rescuers, saying that the investigation is ongoing. The car's driver was taken to a hospital with injuries described by police as non-life-threatening. The cause of the wreck remains under investigation. Later in the article, it says most of the time, the saying goes, wrong place, wrong time. But this time, I believe God had us at the right place at the exact right time, Osborn wrote. It also says later, after the man inside the car moved to the passenger seat, Osborn, the Uber driver, and 2 other bystanders worked to pull him out. That's awesome. I mean, that's awesome by KJ Osborn. Really nice to see that. Hopefully, the man that KJ Osborn saved, hopefully he is doing better. And I'm really. It's a nice thing. It's a nice thing that he did.
I love wholesome moments like that because
absolutely.
It makes you reminisce every moment that you live every single day. And not a lot of people like really realize that. And when stuff like that happens, like your life flashes within your eyes. So I just love that we still have not only just regular people, but like athletes being at the right place at the right time, helping out people that are in need. It just makes me feel so great about the society.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more on that. I could not agree with you more on that. All right, I think we got that there. Now let's go to Tyreek Hill wins 60-meter race, which is awesome, and he dominated too.
Ooh. Now, was this against like just regular people, like college track and field? Like, who was it? Who was it going up against?
It's the USATF Masters event.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, good.
Sorry about that. Hang on.
Take your time. Take your time. I mean, if it was possible, Tyreek Hill would be able to be a 2-sport athlete or a professional 2-sport athlete.
Yeah, nice win by Tyreek Hill. I mean, that's a dominant win too. He ran 6.7 at the 60-meter, and it had been his first track meet since 2014. This is an article on NBC Sports, and it says, and it's titled "Tyreek Hill races in first track meet since 2014," and it's by Olympic Talk, and it says in the article, Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill ran 6.7 seconds in the 60-meter in his first track race since 2014 at the USA Track and Field Masters Indoor Championships on Saturday in Louisville, Kentucky. I mean,
you said 6.7,
60 meters.
Jeez, that is faster. That is crazy. So
that's awesome. That's what a great win by Tyreek Hill too.
Yeah, 6.7 seconds, 60 meters. That's great cardio. That's like he has to be careful, to like not like injuring himself, making sure that he stretches fully before doing all this. But if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'm telling them do this for your cardio because it's going to pay out for what they do in the season and his speed. Jesus. Whew.
Yeah. It also says in the article, never racing again had me out there looking wild. Hill tweeted with a crying, laughing emoji minutes after Saturday's race. I mean, nice win by Tyreek Hill. And hopefully things continue to go well for Tyreek Hill going forward.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Absolutely. All right, now let's go to the NFLPA tweet. This is a situation to look out for. We're going. This is from the NFLPA's Twitter, and it says, "Attention, all players! In a move that could impact our entire membership, Bengals ownership is attempting to strip all athletes in Ohio of their workers' compensation benefits. Check your email for more info. Reach out to your PD with questions." And then there's a link to that right there.
So they're stripping away, like, what's their compensation benefits? Like, what are they getting?
No, it's just like it says workers' compensation benefits. That's crazy to think about.
And they're trying to strip that away from just Bengals players or just anyone?
This tweet, yeah.
That's wild.
This is definitely a situation to monitor, and we have to just monitor this. Hopefully, it doesn't get really bad. Hopefully that is not the case. Hopefully it doesn't get really bad.
That would be terrible because part of working a job for so long is what the benefits come after, because it helps you pan out retirement with funding. And I'm surprised that they're doing this because they had situations before with NFL players just wasting all of their money during their career. And then when they retire, they literally have no money or they have no benefits at all. So I would just think that'd be really greedy. And that would just be the move would make me mad if they did that. I would not be pleased with the NFL doing.
No, I know. I couldn't agree with you more. So yeah.
What else we got besides that?
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Matt Milano. Matt Milano's 2-year contract extension. That's awesome. Awesome to see that he got that. It's so cool to see that. I think there's an article, or no, it says in an article called "Bills Matt Milano agreed a 2-year contract extension, locking up first-team All-Pro linebacker through 2026 season." The article's by Garrett Podell. It says in the article, the signing reportedly adds $6 million in cap space for the Bills this offseason. According to ESPN, the team is still roughly $13 million over the cap with 3 days left to be cap compliant at the start of the new league year on March 15th. So it's nice to see that Matt Milano, he got his extension. Hopefully things continue to go well for him on the Bills.
Yeah, Matt Milano, I love it. I love it that he's gotten another contract extension, tying his career high in interceptions with 3 interceptions. It hurts me because I'm a Bills fan. It hurts me that we have a lot of players on the free agency market, Jordan Poyer being one of them. But we always had an issue with our linebacking core, due to our linebacking core not being good in zone coverage and not our linebackers being fast enough to keep up with some of the guys that come through the middle, which is usually your slot guys. So like Tyreek Hill if he lines up in the slot, Tyler Lockett if he lines up in the slot, Jalen Waddle if he lines up in the slot. Who's the fast receiver for the Eagles? I forgot. I always forget his name. He's not. He's like really fast. I think it's not Jalen Rieger.
He has Rager's not. He's on the Vikings.
Oh yeah, my bad. When the name comes to me, I'll mention him back up. But it's another. The point is just have.
Who are you thinking about?
It's like their third, fourth best wide receiver on that squad.
Quez Watkins?
Yes, there we go. Quez Watkins.
Okay.
But the point is Matt Milano showed that he has been able to keep up with these fast, agility guys, and he put in work for the defense this year. So throw some cash.
Wait, what are you saying? I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
I said I was just saying, like, because he got a contract extension. So I was just saying, just throw him the cash, like, because he deserves. You're giving him that cash, and the cash is well deserved because he's putting up what he's supposed to be doing. Is ultimately what I'm saying.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right. Now let's go to Devin McCourty. Now let's go to Devin McCourty retires. What a great career he had. He was a phenomenal free safety. What a career he had with the Patriots. He was really fun to watch. I mean, what a career he had. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He's also a 3-time second-team All-Pro. I mean, what a phenomenal career he had. Best of luck to him on his retirement. Absolute hell of a career from Devin McCourty.
Yeah, great career from Devin McCourty. Like you said, 3-time Super Bowl champion. He played pivotal in those Super Bowl runs that he had, and the defensive juggernaut teams that they had in New England. And New England is always good for not reminiscing. They're always good at creating good defenses over and over again because they have a defensive guru in Bill Belichick. So great career for Devin McCourty. Great year. Or not great year, great career. Bless you.
Yeah, I know, man. Thank you, dude.
But yeah. Those are my thoughts on that.
All right, cool, man. I think we got that. Thank you for taking the time to come on. I really appreciate it. You're welcome anytime.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, thank you. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed listening to this episode. Take care, guys. Have a good one. See you. Take care, man. Have a good one, dude. I'll see you around.
You too. Yep.
All right, thank you, man. Bye.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.